Hello, this is Ami from Empire State Development. Today, I'll be providing an overview and update of the ESD incentive called the New York State Digital Game Development Tax Credit. As a reminder, ESD's mission is to promote and help the growth of New York State's key industries, including the digital game development industry, and by encouraging investment, job retention, and creation. The digital games team consists of Patricia Bailey, Vice President of Digital and New Media Development, Ami Tai, Project Manager at Tech and New Media. The tax credit overview is essentially an as of right refundable tax credit that can be claimed while filing your annual taxes. This tax credit provides 25 to 35% refundable tax credit of your qualified development costs, coverage for wages related to creation, production, or modification of qualified game media productions. Eligibility cap has doubled from 100,000 to 200,000 per individual in wages. And this program supports the game industry, which has a $5 billion annual economic impact in New York State and is fourth in the nation for economic output. To go over the key eligibilities, two major updates from this past May: the minimum spend requirement reduced from $100,000 to $50,000 per project lifetime, and the minimum qualified labor to be performed in New York State reduced from 75% to 51%. This is a project-based tax credit program, meaning applicants can file more than one project at a time. Each project must meet the minimum requirements. As previously mentioned, the qualified costs in New York City can have 25% towards the tax credit and qualified costs outside the metropolitan commuter district for 35%. An important reminder is that the tax credit applies for the year the project received the final application approval and accreditation. A new feature are these project types. These are any applications can essentially apply for your complete project, lifetime, game title, or IP, or you can select from these optional project types. The playable concepts can include those prototypes, minimum viable products, or vertical slices. If those minimum requirements are still met, and if you have already done a previous iteration, you can apply for a development build project type, which is expanding your previous iterations to a full interactive experience. And if you've come later in the pipeline, the launch and post content project type can include the final iterations for public launch of your game or any DLCs post launch. And all qualified digital project applications must include some level of interactive elements. To give you an overview of the application process, we'll go over the pre-application stage. So at this point, you should be ensuring that your project will have a budget of at least $50,000 towards wages. And to confirm that your labor is at least 51% being performed in New York State. You must develop initial project concept and team requirements to fulfill the application. Once you've arrived to being ready and about to apply to the initial application, you must submit it and wait for the ESD tax incentive representative approval. And once that representative will review, may at times request additional information, so be prepared to provide. Once you've gotten that approval, you have an unlimited amount of time to complete your project. Take as much time as you need, since we know digital games can take multiple years, and especially if you're trying to meet your minimum costs of $50,000 and it requires multiple years to perform, no worries. This program is not limited to one calendar year. And then once you've completed your project, you are able to apply for the final application where you submit your project with its interactive elements and an included New York State emblem and some level of credit, and provide documentation of actual expenditures. And then once you have received the tax certificate, once you are filing taxes for the year you have received that application. For example, if you received it in the year 2025, your tax certificate, then when you are filing taxes for 2025, you are able to claim that credit in the end. And if you don't owe any additional taxes, you will receive the remaining amount as cash. And all projects will receive this New York State emblem to include in their game, promoting our growing statewide industry in digital game development. We are very proud of our industry and the work that it does, with all the accolades it has collected over the years. And the additional support that Empire State Development can provide are as highlighted. The digital game team provides multiple forms of support. For an example, is their delegation to the Game Developer Conference in San Francisco. Since 2023, we provide various forms of support. As an example, our compiled subsidized packages cater to the industry needs and customized per sponsor, and our quarterly newsletter featuring recaps, events, resources, and news from all around the state, released seasonally. And if you have any information or news that you'd like to be promoted through our newsletter, please email us, as we welcome all news from any individual throughout the state. We'll do our best to include. And for international opportunities, Empire State Development has a team, another department referred to as the Global New York International, who lead delegations at international conferences and exhibitions using their own programs like STEP to support B2B meetings and attend those conferences and events. Those programs, as previously mentioned, resources like the STEP Grant and Global New York Grant, support the game development industry in participating in those conferences and conventions by reimbursing developers 50 to 75% of their travel costs, like their lodging, their flights, and exhibition costs. We also host webinars with industry developers and specialists, providing key industry information and resources. We also sponsor various events throughout New York State. Well-known conferences are the Games for Change Conference, the New York Game Awards by the New York Video Game Critics Circle, and Serious Play as well. So in conclusion, thank you so much for watching this presentation. If you have any questions or need clarification, please contact us at nydigitalgamedev@esd.ny.gov. Thank you very much.